Hey guys, please leave feedback and enjoy the recap. The story begins with our MC coughing out blood while attempting to understand what led to his current predicament. We are then shown the heroes. Dozens of them crowd his throne room, all of them there to subjugate him. With a sword through his chest, the MC questions how the sword was able to penetrate through both his scales and heart. Gritting his teeth, our MC mutters, "How?" beneath his breath in frustration. We are then taken to a flashback of the MC's earlier days where he entered the Demon King Military Academy at the top of his class. The very first Demon King Emperor made a book on the theory of being a Demon King. The MC studied this book religiously, following its teachings to a T. He built towers and kidnapped princesses. He even developed the heroes coming to save the princesses. To a demon king, there was no finer delicacy than a hero's sadness and rage. But you couldn't kill them too early. You had to let them ripen and grow before devouring them, as it would yield a much more satisfactory taste. Because the stronger the heroes, the better they tasted. Following the demon king's standards, it was only a matter of time before he conquered the world. He absorbed an abundance of negative emotions from heroes and civilians alike, eventually stockpiling and making the MC the strongest demon king. We then return to the present with our MC on his knees, bleeding out with a sword stabbed through his chest. Confused, the MC questions the hero, asking how he lost. The hero, grinning maniacally, laughs, stating that all the demon kings say the same thing when they are about to die. The hero, chuckling, explains that he doesn't understand why demon kings put themselves in these situations, then can't believe what's happening. The demon king, glaring at the hero, claims bullshit. Surrounded by the destroyed remains of the throne room, the hero, laughing, shames the demon king for kidnapping the princesses and leaving clues to lead them there. Grabbing the MC by the hair, the hero lifts the MC to his face and berates him about how stupid he is, explaining that he should have killed the king to plunge the country into chaos. Thinking, the MC concludes that while it would have caused an internal conflict, their anger would not be directed at him, as people would be fighting to take the throne for themselves. This plan contradicts the theory he's been studying and would cause him to not grow as a demon king. Continuing to laugh, the hero states that the MC sends monsters to train them when they don't travel to his tower, which he sarcastically thanks the MC for. We are then shown the Demon King's tower, which the hero believes makes things even easier for him. The first floor, filled with weak and feeble monsters, allow for the heroes to develop their skills and grow their power. Continuing to make excuses, the MC thinks that he can't let the heroes die prematurely and was being careful in order to gather more energy, stating again that that's what the standards taught him. The hero, annoyed, kicks the MC away while ripping his sword out of the MC's chest, flinging blood into the air. The MC's eyes widen as he begins to scream in pain. The MC falls to the floor, and the hero, standing over his body, explains how nice it is that when they get bored they can just kill the Demon King and a new one will appear. The hero, with a grin from ear to ear, turns to his companions. The room begins to shake as the other heroes begin to shout and cheer for the MC, thanking him for raising them into strong heroes. Continuing to laugh and shout, they mock his tower as an easy hunting ground. The MC, pissed, stares at them in disbelief, unwilling to accept that his tower was just their mere hunting ground. The main hero, looking down at the MC, praises his ability in killing so many heroes. But even so, he remains unfazed as he has gained some newfound popularity. Shouting goodbye, the hero lifts his sword in the air, preparing to deliver the final blow. The MC's eyes begin to spark with a red electricity. Gritting his teeth, the MC is furious that a hero was able to do this to him. He then begins to question the Demon King's standards while balling his fists. Shaking with force, the MC prepares an attack, vowing not to die in vain. The MC's power begins to flare as he roars, "I am a Demon King." The next second, his head is severed from his body. As his head begins to fall, it spins, showing the awkward angle of his head. Finally, it lands at the feet of the heroes. The main hero turns to the crowd and claims the Demon King's horns as his. While our MC begins to glow, the main hero turns confused about the bright glow. The MC's eyes, still full of rage, emit a red gleam. He vows to make the heroes pay, even if he has to give up the last of his life. The hero, surprised, mutters "no way" beneath his breath in shock. The MC begins to glow with an even greater intensity, lighting up the entire room. The main hero, in terror, quickly turns to his companions and commands everyone to run. But it was too late, and the MC's purple energy spreads through the throne room, instantly igniting all the nearby heroes and annihilating them in moments. No breath or anything, just instant darkness. The MC, enlightened by his new knowledge, regretfully reminisces on his use of the Demon King's standards. As he too burns up, he swears to never follow the Demon King's standards if he is given a second chance. The mansion is then destroyed in an aggressive fireworks show of purple flames. But wait, the MC is actually still alive? What? It's a miracle, who could have guessed? Our MC, just as shocked as us, looks dumbfounded at the fact he is still breathing. The MC is then shown to be surrounded by seated demons. A tiny imp shouts for Burj Diaz to come to the stage. The MC, startled, realizes that's his name. He begins to walk toward the tiny creature. Looking around, our MC thinks it's impossible to be at this place. The MC, who is handed a red badge, is then questioned by the director about why a brilliant mind like his is acting so ridiculous. The badge, now attached to his chest, is given to all students who graduate from the Demon King Military Academy. The MC comes to a realization. He realizes it's his graduation day from 15 years ago. Lost in thought, the MC doesn't realize that all the graduates have come to the stage. The imp shouts for our MC to recite the pledge, since he is the representative of his year, startling our MC awake from his daydream. The Demon King's standards, the thing he once swore by, is now displayed in front of him. He is then reminded of how this is what led him to his tragic fate. The crowd, hopeful, stares at our MC in anticipation. The MC, realizing they want him to swear allegiance to what got him killed, scrunches his face in rage. The imp, nervous, reminds Burj Diaz to read aloud the Demon King's standards. But the MC is not having it. The MC, gritting his teeth, shouts to the crowd, "I refuse." The audience is stunned into silence. The MC, at the top of his lungs, shouts to everyone that he cannot pledge himself to something so incredibly stupid. The MC, somehow raising his voice even louder, states that the Demon King's standards are trash. Everyone is unbelievably shocked. No one could have guessed their top student would say something so absurd. A collective yell of "what" is able to be heard from miles away. The MC, out of breath, is stated to have gone from first in his class down to dead last. Slamming his fist against the table, the Archduke of the Demon Realm shouts at Burj, claiming that insulting the Demon King's standards can very well have him executed on the spot. Looking down at Burj, the Archduke allows him one final chance due to his excellent past conduct and talent. He is ordered to apologize to the entire Demon Realm, and in the chance that he doesn't, he will be sent to Aryan, a dimension we learn to be incredibly deadly. However, the crowd is still displeased and don't want him to have another chance. The Archduke reminds the protagonist of the dangers of Aryan, but without missing a beat, he tells the Archduke to send him there, announcing that he'll prove the Demon King's standards are garbage. The Archduke announces that he is banished to Aryan immediately, and a red magic circle begins to glow below Burj's feet. Furthermore, it's announced that Burj won't receive any of the privileges top Demon Kings receive, and no demons will accompany him. Finally, it's said he will be forbidden from returning until his occupation is complete, which we haven't been introduced to. Our MC, with his hands still shackled, is transported high in the sky. Burj, content with what he has done, falls into Aryan, the same place the heroes who killed him reside. Burj begins breaking his shackles and starts to explain that in his past life he chose this place because he believed as the strongest he should rightfully clear the hardest difficulty. Burj, spreading his wings, acknowledges his past arrogance and the hero's intelligence in exploiting of the Demon King's standards. The MC then crashes into the top of a snowy mountain. He is currently in the northern continent atop the Urgest Mountains. The MC resolves to not be exploited again and to exploit the hero's standards instead. We are then shown another demon getting dressed. Looking in the mirror, he is pleased with how he looks, and we are told his name is Gordon. He is the top graduate from the Demon Academy. This is an academy that trains students to serve demon kings, and since he is the top of his class, he is supposed to serve the top demon king graduate, Burge. The students next to him second and third place comment on his luck to serve Burge. Gordon then compliments their demon kings, but is secretly excited because none of the rest are as good as Burge. Gordon begins to glaze Burge, stating that he is a one-in-a-millennium prodigy, and yet he is incredibly blessed to graduate the same year as him. He believes with Burge they can conquer any dimension. Gordon believes that he too will be grained in history as Burge's assistant. We then cut to Burge announcing his hatred for the Demon King's standards. Gordon and his friends are frozen at hearing his words. Burge then continues, stating that the standards are shit. Gordon is absolutely flabbergasted, like the president on September 11th. We then cut to Gordon entering a portal to our MC with their luggage. Gordon is still absent-minded, unable to understand why Burge, the most talented Demon King, chose to throw away his life like this. Burge, walking towards Gordon, comments on how they said no one would come with him, but they sent someone after all. Gordon, still shocked, turns to our MC, and Burge sticks his hand out in greeting. Gordon begins to question Burge on what could possibly have drove him to do what he did. Burge, unable to read the room, replies with "Do what?" The rage bait was super effective, and Gordon begins to crash out screaming at Burge because now he is doomed to die in this place. Burge lands another critical hit, telling Gordon to chill, causing a calamity as Gordon begins to yell even louder. Burge looks at Gordon in confusion, remembering his past as a confident and composed individual. We are then shown a flashback of Gordon's past self, calm and motivated to challenge Arian. Burge, looking at Gordon, contemplates revealing his regressor status, but doesn't think Gordon will believe him. Gordon, exhausted, angrily states he will carry out his duty as Burge's servant. We are then told rule number 1 of the Demon King's standards. Ahem. The Demon King must build a tower. However, it must not be hidden or within an excessively harsh environment, as only then will heroes be able to find it. Gordon, like the nerd he begins to yap about moving somewhere else. The MC, however, shocks Gordon and decides to build his tower right here. He plants his tower seed, which grows into a Demon King tower once exposed to Demon King blood. Gordon, furious, lectures the MC about not following the standards and throwing away his pride as a Demon King. The MC understands Gordon's deep-rooted faith in the standards and realizes that only something extreme, like death, can wake you up to reality, which only he has done. Burge authoritatively tells Gordon to listen to him and that these Demon King standards are trash, especially here in Arian. The ground begins to rumble, and the seed flashes with bright red energy. It suddenly shoots a beam out, creating a red circle of energy. While the energy spreads, the MC recalls the swarms of heroes in this new world. The magic spreads into a magic circle, identifying Burge as the user, and begins to summon the tower. The MC explains to Gordon that the heroes have learned the tower's mechanisms after countless tower destructions. Gordon, shocked, continues to listen, learning that this could be called the hero's standards. The tower is now fully erect and towers over Burge and Gordon, making them look like ants. Gordon, still shocked, is told by Burge to follow him inside. We are then shown the first floor of the tower. Looking around, Gordon comments on the lack of monsters and traps, noting that it's because Burge has been denied any of the normal Demon King's privileges. Skipping to the 5th floor, the Demon King's chamber, Gordon notes the emptiness of the room. Gordon, still holding on to his past, believes that they surely must follow Rule 2 of the Demon King's standards, which is to kidnap a prince or princess. Gordon, attempting to advise his master, encourages him to kidnap the highest succeeding princess of the closest kingdom. This will allow him to quickly consume the kingdom's rage and sorrow and grow quickly. To Gordon's surprise, the protagonist instantly agrees with his plan. Already having his eye on a princess, he orders Gordon to stay and guard the tower. Gordon internally thinks Burge was just stressed due to graduation and that this challenge is still salvageable. Burge, starting to climb out the fifth-story window, is questioned by Gordon of who he is planning to bring. Responding, our MC decides on the princess from the country furthest away from the tower, the kingdom of Hilderin. We then cut to a picture of the side of a castle. Through the window, the princess and Burge look at each other. We are then informed that this is the 13th princess, the one with the least presents. Staring down at the princess, the MC graciously warns her of her fateful kidnapping. Gordon, on the opposite side of the map, snipes the MC's plan, whining about this being the total opposite of the standards. Burge stands menacingly over the princess. Wide-eyed and clueless, the princess is unable to sense the potential danger of a fucking demon announcing his plan to kidnap her. So she just asks who he is. Burge again states his intent to kidnap her. The princess's freaky ass replies with, "Are you sure you can handle me?" The protagonist, rightfully shocked, agrees, stating that as a demon king, of course, he can handle her. The princess then gives herself up, telling Burge to just take her. The MC worriedly asks if she is plotting anything, but the princess just replies that she expected this since she was born a princess. Attempting to wiggle out a confession, Burge lets her know he is desperate and won't let her trick him. The princess denies the allegations and argues that she couldn't have set a trap since she didn't know the Demon King would come that particular day. Burge, agreeing with her evidence, feels oddly uncomfortable. The princess, weirdly enthusiastic, asks if they shall take off now. Flying back to his tower, Burge, covered in snow, lands cleanly on the ground with the newly captured princess. Burge, lost in thought, orders Gordon to let the princess stay in the corner of the 4th floor and not the prison, since the princess came with no resistance. Gordon then quickly grabs Burge's attention, needing to tell him something. We are then sent to the 4th floor with the princess alone in a wide, empty room. Feeling the cold, hard ground, the princess realizes she has really been kidnapped. There aren't any more maids, pillows, or blankets, and certainly no pretty garden. Blushing, however, the princess thinks it's not so bad. We then jump back to Burge receiving an invitation from the Tower of Beasts. The supposed welcome party for the new Demon King is believed by Burge to just be an attempt at hazing the newcomer. Burge then goes to explain how Demon Kings are fundamentally too proud to join hands with one another, but due to Aryan being so difficult, they go against their pride and work together. In Burge's past life, he ignored them, believing the other Demon Kings to be weak-minded. But this time he thinks he should at least have some light exchanges with them. We then cut to the Tower of Beasts, ruled by Draxen, a white-coated werewolf who sits in front of our protagonist. Glaring down at Burge, he states that he heard of his mockery and is unimpressed. The MC confidently questions the werewolf's intentions and tells him to state his business. Towering over the MC, the werewolf, chuckling, reveals that the Archduke personally asked him to look after Burge. Burge asks if he means the noisy old vampire geezer. Draxen, grinning wildly, announces the MC has guts to address the Archduke in that manner. Dropping his meat on the floor, pause. He orders the MC to lick it, pause, and only then will he pardon his impudence. The MC then asks if the Demon King of Beasts truly knows why he is there. Affirming, the werewolf says he mocked the Demon King's standards. Menacingly, the MC states that according to that orthodox Demon Kings can't kill each other. Then he stomps on the meat and releases his magic, blowing back debris and startling the werewolf. Burge then coldly asks if he really thought he would follow that rule. Draxen, about to piss himself, is shocked at the power of the protagonist's aura. Quickly, the werewolf reveals that the Archduke just wanted to know if Burge had properly caught a princess, and that he must report the capture within a month or he will lose his authority. Interrupting Draxen, Burge reveals he has already captured a princess that suits his tastes. Pause. Back at Burge's tower, Gordon praises Burge, and our MC responds that Draxen can't do anything else. Burge then states that they need to be prepared and orders Gordon to check on the princess while he learns how to make use of her. Burge, sulking, is anxious that the other demon kings may take the same stance as the demon king of beasts, and that things could get quite bothersome if so. Burge then confesses that he didn't expect the consequences of mocking the Orthodox to be so big, but would undoubtedly make the same decision even if given a second chance. Burge stands up, declaring that he'd rather die than bow his head to trash. Burge reveals his plans of rebuilding his foundation. However, he is only receiving a couple hundred demonic energy points due to the low rank of the princess. But Burge somehow ends up attaining 13,000 points, shocking him. And at this moment he receives another surprise, a video recording from the Tower of Beasts. Draxon congratulates the MC on his great achievement and questions if his mockery was just a cover. Terrified, the MC, dripping with sweat, believes there is something wrong. At that moment, Gordon comes running, revealing a problem on the 4th floor, startling Burge. We then pan to a beautiful nature scene with fluttering butterflies. The MC, wide-eyed, questions what he is seeing. It is then revealed that the 4th floor is undergoing a naturalization. The princess, surrounded by elemental creatures, greets the MC, but Burge is shocked and unable to understand how she created an ecosystem. Only someone who has mastered all 4 elements should be capable of this, and there is only one spiritist on the continent. Burge then states she is not the 13th princess, and she agrees, saying that he probably mistook her for Elena. Burge, stunned, can't believe who she actually is. She is Erin Hilderin, the first princess of the Hilderin Kingdom. We then cut to the Hildrian castle, where it's announced that the first princess has been kidnapped by a demon king. The king is absolutely furious. With his face swelling, he shouts to bring the entire military and all of the strongest heroes immediately. He orders them to behead the foolish demon king and save his princess. That's where this part ends. Please comment any suggestions about future uploads, or if you want to see another part of this manhwa. I'm planning to do some comedy manhwa for future uploads, so stay tuned and subscribe to see more.